Hi there, everyone. My name is Dominic, and welcome to Incoherence. I'm pretty sure, if I understand correctly, this is a game that is not strictly like a spooky game, but it's about a main character who's super depressed and going through their like perception of the things around them in their life. I think that's the idea. So, as such, trigger warning that was in like the description of the game itself that it deals with like themes of violence and self-harm and suicide are like the topics I believe involved. So I don't know how explicit they are. It was pretty well reviewed, so I doubt it's like gratuitous, but it does, it has that tone to it of dealing with some heavier subject matter. So just, be aware, All right, let's see. She is dead. She is fucking dead. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I think it's on the description. It's about someone who loses their siblings. So, okay, you're just chilling by yourself in like a G-string. I mean, I'm not going to judge, but it feels like you'd be wearing some granny panties under the circumstances. But who knows? I don't know what life you lead. Who am I to judge? We need to walk over the whole bed. All right. No need for the keys yet. Oh, I need to get dressed. What am I saying? I can't leave yet. Are my clothes in here, or are they in the closet? Oh, here they are. All right. Am I dressed? Now we wait for the call. Okay. What kind of room are we in? What hotel am I at that has the giant art? This painting calms me down. Okay, well, hey, if that's what you want staring at you with the lights dimmed low, who am I to judge? What kind of pills we got here? Prescribed drugs. I rather smoke. My therapist is not called yet. Oh, we're going to have a call with a therapist? Okay. Are we allowed to go look around? Anything on the TV? No? No TV? God, this place sucks. Oh, is that the phone? Oh my God, hold on. I'm going to miss my therapy call. God damn it. Hold on. Nailed it. All right, yes, Dr. Calkins, I am on the way. Am I, though? All right, let me get my keys. Nothing on the TV right now. All right. Keys? Okay, cool. Where do we leave? There we go. All right, Dr. Calkins is in room 16. Why is he in the same place we are? What is this terrible place? Damn, we got the motel therapist. Okay. Are the ceilings really low, or are you freakishly tall, man? All right, I'll go in here, I guess, for my therapy session. What is that? What is the face over there? All right. Kate says, thanks a lot for visiting me in the hotel. I understand this might not be your usual practice, but I really needed to talk. Okay. Dr. Calkins, I'm glad you decided to do this again. Considering your position and tragic circumstances, I was more than willing to help. Can you tell me once again, why did you decide to move from your apartment and pay a great deal of money for this hotel? After what happened to my sister, I was unable to stay here. Every night I had the same nightmare about her, and it was torture for me. I was lucky enough to get some money from my employer. At least for now, I do not have to worry about paying the rent. I can enjoy a hotel pizza. Kate, this is not healthy. You have to face the issue right up in front. You cannot live in this hotel forever. You talked about the nightmares. Can you describe them to me? They are very real at times, but usually when I wake up, the nightmare does not end. I have this deep feeling, more like a voice telling me to do something. What does that voice tell you to do exactly, Kate? It is very important to say it out loud to ensure that it is not real. Also, can we talk about how, like, therapy, at least in America, is so fucked because, like, if you tell them at all, if you say you have suicidal thoughts at all, even if they're not, like, they make it seem like you are on top of a skyscraper at that very moment when you say that. And it's so damn frustrating because one of the hardest things to say with mental health conversations is to say, I have been having these very bleak thoughts and feelings. And instead of that being met with like okay, good. Well, now that's out in the open, which usually that alone is not going to fix things, but just saying it out loud, what the struggle is, that alone can be can bridge so much distance, I think, in a therapeutic scenario and can really feel a weight off your chest just for sharing, just for having the honesty to be able to say what it is you're struggling with. So just to say, that's something that always drives me nuts is that if you say that, they freak the fuck out. Like, holy shit, I've had so many therapy conversations that have been so damn useless because I've been like, okay, but that's not relevant to what I'm saying right now. Here's the stuff I'm struggling with. over the past few months or year or whatever. And they're like, okay, but have you ever had these feelings? Have you ever had feelings to want to do self-harm? And I go, okay, yeah, but that's not been my struggle for quite some time. And then they won't even listen. They'll just veer off and keep on their topic forever. So sorry, that's just, I'm like, that just bugs me because it's like such a therapy thing that I think can be so unhelpful, is not assessing what the client is most in need of in that moment. They're assessing things based on a textbook scale of what they think the danger is without taking into account the needs of the individual human. So, all right. Yeah, it's very important to say it out loud to ensure that it is not real. The voice tells me to kill someone. To kill who? Does the voice specify a person, a name? Is it somehow connected to your sister's suicide? Kate, I need you to focus on this. I don't know. It just tells me to kill. I see my sister and she is so real. There's something off about her, something sinister in her voice. Kate, does your sister tell you to kill someone? Do you see her right now? Do you see your sister in this room right now? Oh! It's just Kate! Oh, God, that was... Oh, don't like... I'm sorry. My head hurts. My medication is not helping at all, and I don't know what to do. I fucking don't know how to get her out of my head. Kate, I need you to stay alert at all times. I will prescribe you something for the headache. We will meet again in 3 days, all right? If there's an emergency, call me. All right. I will try to do the meditation technique you told me about. Thanks again for the talk. It means more to me than you can imagine. Looking forward to the next visit. Like, yeah, this is one thing that I have, like, I get very, like, not even heated. I'm just very passionate about it because I think mental health is probably one of the biggest struggles. What are you doing, you little creep? Just enjoying the motel art, homeboy? Looks lovely. Ah, look. That's so nice. Grandma, let's get you to bed. All right, I don't like the look of you at all. Where the fuck is my room? Which one is it? It's, oh. There she is. We go see her if we get close? Or is she just there? Oh, is this our room? I'm forgetting now. Yeah, it's 3, okay. But I get so, what is that on the table? What's on the table? A note? Dear Miss Anderson, we hope this letter finds you well, and I want to extend our appreciation for choosing Velvet Vista Hotel for your recent stay. Unfortunately, it has come to our attention that there are some issues that require immediate attention. We have received multiple complaints from other guests and our staff regarding loud banging noises and an unpleasant odor originating from your room. To ensure the comfort and tranquility of all our guests, we kindly request that you please adhere to the hotel's noise policy and be mindful of your noise level. If there is a specific issue or concern that requires our attention, please do not hesitate to contact the front desk. We appreciate your understanding and cooperation in this matter. We look forward to the remainder of your stay at our hotel. Sincerely, Velvet Vista Hotel Manager. Okay, whatever. I should put these clothes in the closet. What, something smelling bad? Is the body in here with us? Are we in purgatory? Here's our little clothing block. This looks like Monsters, Inc. when they thought that Boo got smushed up in the trash compactor. Somehow I am tired. I should lay down. What's all this stuff? Right, anything else I can do? No, I'm just going to go to sleep. But yeah, and just to say that that's one area that I get so, like, with like mental health stuff, just because I think it's not only so bad in America, but I feel like there's so little understanding on a lot of sides of American society, and it's a structural problem because most of us have never had the chance to learn about mental health properly. Most of us were not raised in environments that prioritize understanding our mental health or having a healthy relationship with our own brains, which obviously is a problem. But I see it on both sides too, because I feel like you have one side that's like the very conservative leaning side that's like either mental health is not real or you only need it if you've gone through some insane trauma, which is obviously is not true and not helpful at all for how many people. And also misclassifying and mischaracterizing what qualifies as trauma, like they'll understand a lot of times. People will talk about how they'll understand if like a soldier comes back from war, obviously, but understanding that someone who goes through a traumatic experience of violence or mistreatment or abuse or whatever can be the same level of trauma, like trauma is trauma. Your brain does not, your kind of like internal subconscious nervous system does not distinguish between what you consciously know in your memory and what in your mind exists. The trauma response is there regardless, and that needs to be, dealt with, independently of the situation in some ways, and that's the thing. It's like trauma does not care where the source comes from. It will affect your life regardless. And whether it's built up slowly or from one major traumatic event, the effects are often still the same or very similar. So, but then on the other side, I think it's frustrating because I will see people, especially on like the more liberal left-leaning side that I'm around more in the people that I know, obviously. And I see a lot where people will invalidate making progress if you are not doing two main things, which is if you're not on medication for it and you are not doing therapy. And I say this before you start typing, I'm going to hold the comments, the paragraph you may be writing right now, because I am very, very clearly not anti-therapy or anti-medication, as I am still on medication and I have done a lot of months of therapy and I found them, frankly, very fucking useless. Specifically because the therapists I've had have just not been fucking helpful. They have not been trained well enough. And that's the thing too, it's a problem, is I will see people who will be like, well, look, my depression and anxiety, it's a chronic thing. It's going to be here forever. There's no way to fix it. And that's why I'm going to be in therapy for the next 20 years. And it's like, you understand, it's like if you were going, and that's not a healthy mindset. It doesn't mean you are ever necessarily like completely free of the potential of getting anxious or getting depressed. And that's not the goal, obviously. Life goes up and down. And you may have a period of life where those feelings alleviate and they may go back down. But the problem is people act like, well, it's just like a chronic illness that there's nothing to do about. That's how they treat mental health. And especially when it comes to things like depression and anxiety, I feel like from my own personal experience, having dealt with both of those to a very punishing and very debilitating extent, I realized the more I tried to branch out and try to find different ways to make improvements on them myself, and realized it's like, okay, therapy can be great, but if you spend 10 years with a bad therapist, it's not going to improve. If anything, it may actually make your mental health worse because you think you're doing the right thing because you are trying to reach out for help and you're not receiving the support you need. Just like if you were going to a doctor for 10 years and you're like, I still feel like shit, you wouldn't probably trust that doctor, but I'll see people who will brag about being in therapy for 10 years and they're still depressed out of their fucking minds. And I'm like, your therapist fucking sucks then. And it doesn't mean that your therapist can solve every problem or anticipate every life event. But if they're not equipping you with the tools to make improvements, it's like going to a personal trainer and 10 years later you go, I'm still not making any progress. I'm not stronger at all than I was, or I'm only a little bit stronger. And then I get, I completely go off the rails and I lose all of it. You would go, well, this personal trainer sucks. Like in any other area of personal development, you would look at it and go, that's not fucking working, So, and especially the combination I see with a lot of people I personally know, and I feel for them, and it makes me upset, not at them, but because they deserve better treatment and support and the kind of encouragement and tools that they need to get better, is I see this combination of they'll get on a medication and they're told, well, it's going to have side effects and it's going to make you feel kind of like shit. So, and they just get content with that. A lot of times the psychiatrist will just kind of be like, well, you're supposed to, the medication is supposed to make you not want to kill yourself. It's not meant to make you feel better. And then they'll combine that with a really poor quality therapist who is not equipping them with tools, is just there. I see this a lot where they'll be like, well, I like my therapist because they validate how I'm feeling. And it's like, okay, but it's kind of, that's not inherently really any use in and of itself. It's like going to a fitness instructor and they're like, well, I totally understand that it's really uncomfortable doing this much exercise and all that. But a good trainer would tell you, okay, but I'm going to dial in a plan based on what I know you can handle. Here's how much weight I know you can handle without hurting yourself while still making progress. And that's what mental health conversations should be. It's not about saying zero or nothing. Either, wow, it's just like, just got to suffer through it, and I'm sorry to hear it so bad. That's not what a therapist is supposed to do, is just validate how bad things are. They're supposed to give you hope that things can and will improve. And then on the other end, they're supposed to understand, here's what I think you can handle based on my assessment of where you're at right now. If you're really in the trenches mental health-wise, you're not going to be able to do 7 or 8 different lifestyle adjustments to make everything better. Even though those adjustments may have really great results, let's be realistic, that's not going to be something you're going to practically be able to do. But a good therapist or a good psychiatrist will be able to look at that and assess it and go, okay, out of these options of lifestyle changes, which may include therapy, may include medication, may include whatever it might be, exercise, meditation, certain books or whatever, understanding your trauma in a more thorough way so you can intellectualize it more so it doesn't seem like such a big monster, it doesn't seem so out of control, so you feel like you have a command over it intellectually. Whatever it might look like, it's about their job going through these techniques and going, okay, here, I need you to start with step number, tool number 7 over here is what will be the easiest for you to apply right now. And then we'll work in more things later. But I see so many people don't do that. They just say, well, I've been prescribed this for this many years, and I have been going to therapy for this many years, and I don't do anything else but those 2 things, and none of it actually helps, and I feel super fucking depressed. But then you'll ask them about it and they'll feel kind of like braggy about the fact that they've been doing those things, even though you can tell it's not working because they will talk about how awful they feel all the time. So anyway, I'm sorry for the rant here, but this game is about depression and mental health, and I see so much shitty advice everywhere and that people don't give good information. And it bugs me because I really want people to be okay. Like I see so many of you, especially I know how much of my base of viewers and listeners, how many of you are in your like mid and early 20s. I look at the metrics, on YouTube and other platforms, and I see what kind of the viewership ages are. And I so fucking feel for you because you are dealing with the weight and pressures and stresses that are not what you should have to deal with at this age. And what's worse is you are having to deal with that without the correct degree of support and professional level of quality that I'm sure many of you need to be able to kind of be your best self and live your best life and all of that. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of you just get told, as I get told and hear as well, that's just how it is. It's not, whatever. It's not supposed to make you feel good or whatever. This is what therapy is. Therapy is not supposed to cure you, all right? Therapy is just supposed to do this. And it's all this bullshit that's like, it really can I think, aggravate a sense of hopelessness when you're going to these things and going, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, what I've read that I'm supposed to do and been told I'm supposed to do, but I don't actively feel better. So then you internalize it on yourself and say, I'm doing something wrong, aren't I? It must be my fault. I'm doing therapy, but I'm not getting better. Oh, so it must be I'm not doing therapy correctly. Because that's the problem. If you're that depressed and anxious, you probably blame yourself for any lack of progress that you make. But that's not your job. It's, to ensure that you're making that progress. It's the job of the professional you're working with to assess if you're not making progress. Well, you need to change, the angle of how you're going to do things. You're going to change tools and techniques a little bit. So anyway, this bugs me as someone who has not only gone through so much shit in my own life, but I've been around so many people who are close to me who have had to deal with deaths, of people close to them, mistreatment, abuses, and in so many different facets of life, in so many different kinds of ways. And to see them struggle because they don't get the help they need and they don't get the resources. That's one reason I've said before that I think mental health books, specifically, I mean ones written by professionals, not like self-help gurus, but ones that actually help you to understand from a professional perspective what it is you're struggling with, can be really valuable because you're getting assessment, I should say. You're getting information and advice from someone who may be like a top person in that industry. You may be getting, if you're reading a book from a brilliant psychiatrist with years of clinical knowledge and all that, that advice will probably be better than what you're getting at your local, lowest base pay for that position therapist or whatever, who's doing 50 other clients, and handling 50 other clients along with all the people in your insurance, So it's like, you see what I mean? Like, it's just frustrating to me because I feel like we are told that there are so few tools, and there are more tools available. They're just not brought up very often because especially the American healthcare system, just doesn't fucking give a shit and doesn't have time to fucking help you. They just kind of get you in there and go, all right, I can see you for 30 minutes, one time a month, take your pills, stop fucking bugging me. And that's not good enough. Like, none of you you all deserve better treatment than that. So anyway, I'm going to move on here. I'm sorry. I just get so fucking steamed about this whenever a game talks about this stuff. Oh yeah, who is knocking? Can't they leave me alone? Oh, it's over here. Sister, is that you? Get your own room, all right? I didn't book a double. Yeah, hello? Whoa, whoa. Oh, what the fuck? I should close that. I think I should leave. Okay, she's going to be here any second, I know. Okay. Yep. Fuck, the lights. I should get my phone. Press F to use phone. Oh, god damn it. You're telling me now I have to... Oh, am I in like a psych ward now? Is this all a dream? What the fuck am I? And who is this painting? Why is it like... Why do you find it comforting? Okay. This sucks. What do we got here? What are these? What are the pills? Why the fuck did I even come here? This hospital is rotten. I wish my sister was here. But as usual, she has too many fucking problems to deal with. Unlike me, a drug addict who was trying to break free from all of this. Talk about another thing that, like, should not be as difficult as it is to be able to get support for, like, getting clean and it's like it's improving slowly. Like there's less of a stigma around people who deal with drug addiction, because I think more people now are understanding, like, yeah, the world is really fucking difficult and the weight of it is so intense that many people like turn to these things who otherwise may not have turned, and become addicts in these scenarios if the world around them had more hope to give. But I understand that it often does not. So, but even still, though, I still feel like they don't get the support that they need at all. All right. Is there nothing else for me to click on here? Can I not click on this little prescription bottle? No? Okay. I can't open any of these doors, right? Yeah, that one's locked. Oh, I can open that one, okay. Oh, it just goes on endlessly. That's not art. Can I get a snack? Is it going to change a little every time we go through? We go through this one? She's going to be there when we turn around, isn't she? I can't click on this door now. The other ones were working. All right, what's going on? What am I missing here? Can we click on the painting? What is the pile? Are these a pile of clothes? Am I just stuck here? Is that the thing? It's like, what depression feels like? Being stuck in this goddamn hallway over and over and over. Can I get in the wheelchair? Oh, hold on, there's a board here. Is there anything here to click on? Oh, there's another note. There we go. Every day is the same loop. I go to this hospital, get some medication, try to better myself. Yeah, but what is the point? My sister doesn't give a shit anyway. I might die tomorrow and she won't even remember. Oh, poor thing. Yeah. And then we go through, I'm assuming, and we're just going to loop through with different notes. Yeah, okay. Something I saw, too, was in the Netherlands, I think it was, that was allowing for, to have medical human euthanasia is a thing now, which I understand. I'll grab that in a second. Which I understand being a thing, especially because the main purpose of it, the intention of it, I think at the beginning was for people with chronic illnesses who were otherwise going to have this very painful descent down into suffering, and knowing that there is not a chance of them making it through this. They're at like stage 4 cancer and there's no other options left, to be able to have some dignity in that. But I also saw that now it's becoming common for people who are just depressed to go use to kill themselves. And I feel bad because part of me, like, I see a lot of people being like, oh, that's great, I totally understand, life's too tough and all that. But then another part of me is, I'm like, I don't know. I'm really glad that at my worst times where I was the most depressed, I did not have an easy access way to fucking kill myself. Because honestly, I think the accessibility of it would have actually been a negative. And it's frustrating because I just look at it and I go, man. And specifically the story I saw was about a young woman who was like 28. She was a year younger than I was, who had dogs at home. She had a boyfriend. She had a house. She had an otherwise life that she said she's otherwise pretty content with, but she's still very depressed and feels very purposeless and hopeless. And the worst part is she was told by her psychiatrist that, well, I've tried everything I know. I don't think it's ever going to get better, which I'm sorry, but that sounds like that's a terrible fucking psychiatrist, because like, I get that some people do chronically deal with depression. I'm sure I will struggle with it to an extent for the rest of my life, without a doubt. It's something I need to be aware of. But I don't know. It's something that, like, it really worries me, because I see that and I go, I don't know. Maybe that psychiatrist was brilliant, but I feel like I think the problem is also, too, because the human brain, we're so complex as people that finding the thing that can kind of unlock the potential in each person to help them support themselves and know what support they need to get through and to improve is difficult. And sometimes going through textbook routines does not help. That's why when I've had my experiences with therapy, they didn't do a damn fucking thing to help with my panic attacks and my agoraphobia and stuff, where I was literally having trouble functioning. They really didn't fucking help. In fact, they actually actively made things a little bit worse, because I felt unseen and unheard, because I could tell that the therapist I had was just going through a checklist of what he was told to try with a depressed, anxiety-ridden patient. And none of that was practically helping my individual life. And I think that's what misses a lot with a lot of mental health, in the mental health, profession and the medical space around it, is it's not this discussion about what life do you have and what's leading it to feel this way. What contributing factors are in particular causing it, and how can we change or rearrange those or improve them little by little, even if it takes time to fix it. I think if that's one thing I feel like I don't see a lot is mental health professionals admitting when they make mistakes or that they maybe did not give the best quality to a client. That therapist, when I asked for a new therapist, he literally said, well, I think your expectations were wrong. That's why you didn't get anything out of this. And I said, my expectations were only that I would get therapy and get tools that would help me. And you've done none of that. And he was like, well, I'm sorry that you're disappointed. And it was completely not 1 ounce of humility to be able to say, I'm really sorry. I want you to get help. I want you to be okay. It was just complete personal defensive deflection. And that's one thing where I was like, look, you might be a licensed therapist, but I think you're fucking bad at this. Like in every profession, I think there's a reason like that I'm struggling because I'm open as could be and not combative at all. And I'm still not getting any help from you. So anyway, it just, again, I'm sorry, this is like a 15-minute game becoming a much longer rant, but it really does eat me up inside because I see that so much. I see so many people struggling. And I just look at that and I think, man, would it not make a difference if these people were getting assessed on a much more individual human level, not on a textbook one where, because that's one of those things, like it's like a doctor knowing how to communicate to you. You don't need to know all the jargon they know. The doctor's job is to interpret their high level of information into something that is practically applicable to your individual life and how it will help you specifically. So one book that I've recommended elsewhere on other discussions on games and stuff is a book called Hope and Help for Your Nerves by Dr. Claire Weeks. She was a doctor in the 60s, I believe, who wrote that book on anxiety and panic disorders. I sincerely mean this when I say it single-handedly was the book that helped me cure my panic disorder, that made it so I still get anxious. Like I still am dealing with just a more general anxiety. But I went from not being able to even go walk down the street without freaking out to being like largely okay and being able to do trips and travel again. But that's a book that I loved, not only because it's very practical, it's not full of jargon, it's very hands-on. Here's what to do first. Here's exactly what to do. Here's what I want you to think about. Here's what I physically want you to do. Here's exactly what I want you to try. Here are all the steps to try to get through when you're having this specific problem in your life. But she talks about working with clients because she wasn't just a psychiatrist. She was a clinical psychiatrist who worked with tons and tons of clients in her time, as a professional working with the public. And she talks about a lot of examples with her real life clients. And she will talk about times where she made mistakes. Like she talked about a time where she said, she gave the advice she gave to a lot of people, which was, that a small step, for agoraphobia can be literally spending every morning sitting outside in front of your own house, sitting on the porch, having tea, coffee, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if that little step itself is stressful, that just doing that will start to expand your boundary a little bit, if you've been severely agoraphobic, But she talked about how she had one client who came back and was like, I'm sorry, like, it's not getting better. I'm really trying, but it's really not working for me. And it's just, I'm getting more anxious. And she said that she realized, she actually went to see her at her house to check on her. And she realized when she got there, she was like, oh, I didn't ask the right questions of my this is not my client's fault. This is my fault. Because I guess this lady had an enclosed like patio porch. So she was just going out there first thing in the morning when it's like still dark and sitting out there in this enclosed space, feeling worse than ever. And it was great to hear a medical professional write honestly and say that was my fault because I didn't ask about their home. I didn't ask what their specific life was like and if my advice would apply to it correctly. So then once she saw that, she was able to adjust it and say, okay, here where I'm gonna ask you to do it here instead. Sit out here in this spot on the in the backyard of your house or whatever it was. But I'm like, that's what it needs, is that level of attentiveness. But again, none of us fucking get that, because if you want a psychiatrist that's good, you're going to be paying probably hundreds per session out of pocket. And they may be great, but most of us can't afford that. And if you're just going through what your insurance has, you're probably getting a psychiatrist who has 100 other clients and is barely getting by themselves, So I don't know. It just bugs me. And it just is the reason why I'm like, it eats me up. And it's the reason why I've literally I've looked at how long it would take to get a degree in this stuff to see if I would be able to help. So, but I figure what I can do for now is learn and read and ingest as much as I can to hopefully share that information with you at the very least. So hopefully that can point some of you in the right direction or give you a little glimmer of hope that there are things that will help, but sometimes what we're told to do does not always provide enough, and we need to seek out other avenues to get better. So, all right. Because I know y'all a bunch of mentally ill bitches just like me, all right? And I love y'all. It's okay. My medical history is pretty short. Nothing of value in broken things, but maybe if my sister is interested, Maybe she can pick up the phone at least once and at least once be curious. All I can do is hope for the best. Bullshit phrase. Yeah, damn. All right. Can we go through here now, or do we have to go back through the other door? Oh, God. I'm just waiting for a jump scare again, because I know that's the thing. That one's locked? Okay. Do we need to go back through this door? Well, I just went over to this door, though, and tried to unlock it. And I read the note. Hold on. Also, can I move faster? I don't know if I can, but I'm moving so slow. All right. Yeah, I read the note. Sis, what do you want from me? Yeah. Yeah, I was saying, can we look through any of these folders? I think here I should search the rest. Oh, okay, we have to look through all the folders. Okay. Nope. Okay, last one. Let's see. Aha! What does it say? Demography details. This something year old patient presents for alcohol and cannabis withdrawal. History was obtained from the patient. Chief complaint: I want rehab. I have been using. Patient is a single something year old AA male with bipolar disorder, alcohol and cannabis abuse, and other, I'm assuming, like substance dependence, like maybe who was admitted with symptoms of depression, including CHA, of voices telling her to hurt herself. She has done outpatient program and wants to change her life this time. Referral papers reviewed, discharge summary, discharge instructions, physical exam reviewed. Okay. Okay. I'm assuming we gotta go back down the hall. That's another thing too in that Hope and Help for Your Nervous book. She talks a lot. It's a very encouraging book. It's very good practical advice. It's also a book that explains very thoroughly about how you cannot feel sorry for yourself. That doesn't mean not being kind to yourself. You can't feel sorry for yourself because that doesn't help you get anywhere. But she talks a lot about how she's like, hope. A lot of people think of it as like this like on or off kind of light switch. I forget the exact way. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But she has a whole section about how she talks about how just the smallest glimmer of feeling like you have a little bit of hope, like anything, any technique or tool you learn that works a little bit, a person who's really depressed and anxious or really run down and has dealt with that, especially if you've dealt with it for many years, if they get a taste of feeling like they're making progress after feeling stagnant for so many years, that alone can be such a bright ray of light in a very dark position. And that alone can be such a small snowball effect to get them to keep making progress. That's the problem too, is so many people do what they're told to do and they don't make any progress. And then they just think, well, that's the end of the line. I've done everything I could. Hey, sis. This is sad now. Like, I know she's like a jump scary character, but like, it's really sad knowing that this is like, yeah, like this is all just her going through like being in mental institutions, being in rehab, trying to get help and not having the support. And it is tough too. That's the thing too. We're in a time where we're more disconnected than ever. Oh, is the computer on? Hold on. It wasn't on before. I don't know if that means anything. But we're like more, often disconnected than ever. Oh shit, the battery died. Well, that's good. Waiting for the jump scare. Any moment now. A note! Do you feel it now, Mr. Krabs? No, I'm sorry. This is serious. Do you feel guilty? You selfish bitch. You abandoned me when I needed you. You made a promise. You said you were always going to be with me. Go back, and end this. Oh, fuck. Okay. Alright, I should check on my sister first. Oh, God. Is the sister's body here? Is that, does she, like, have the body here because she feels guilty? Oh, God. What the fuck? What the fuck? What is she... Wait, hold on. Did she move out of her house to the hotel? I'm confused. Is she bringing the sister's body along out of guilt? Did the sister do this and she checked in the hotel to... Oh, what the fuck is happening? Holy shit. Yeah, what happened? What did we do? Oh, God damn it. What the fuck? Oh, fuck's sake. That's fucking bleak. Holy shit. That's not even so much a horror game as much as just like everything's fucked. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like it. I don't think it's very good. I think Here's my problem with games like this, and I feel like there are quite a few of them that exist, is a baseline about the dark side of mental health and other having family struggles and loss and all that. You have to temper it with something heartfelt. It can't just be bleak because that's just not how humans are built. I'm sorry. It's like as bleak as it is, there are times where you feel even like when you're feeling depressed. A lot of times that feeling is like, okay, I wish I was feeling more loved right now. It's not everything's fucking sucks all the time. It's this feeling of everything sucks and I really wish it didn't. I really wish I had more hope right now. I wish I was being cared for better. I wish I was being supported and encouraged. I wish more people in my life knew my struggle. I wish I could be more open. Like there's a lot of these desperate desires for hope that simply don't come to fruition, or they can be hard to get the ball rolling on. That's usually the main thing, is like getting any momentum going to make progress on your personal life and your mental health can be really difficult. Once I think it gets going a little bit, it can actually be not necessarily easy, but easier. You know what I mean? It can improve and become a more, because you're making it a routine. That's the thing. If you're doing things to help progress your well-being, it becomes second nature. That's a big thing. Like for me now, because I'll still get how my panic attacks used to start will still happen, where every now and then I'll have a really big spike of anxiety or a little flash of adrenaline. But before, I used to fucking freak out and panic, and I would feel like I needed to throw up or run away or go hide in the bathroom or drive home as fast as possible. And the biggest thing was that it wasn't that the techniques and tools I learned made me not ever have anxiety again, because that's not the goal. That's not the intention is not to be numb to those feelings because they're part of being human. It was that because I practiced so often dealing with those scenarios and how to deal with them properly and how to cope with them in a healthy way and not be so afraid of those feelings and those kind of subconscious reactions of my body. Because of that, the nice thing was it became an autopilot thing. I would just I would feel the adrenaline spike or whatever and feel a little bit, you kind of feel like you can feel dizzy or shake, you're lightheaded, you feel your heart rate go up a little bit. And where I used to lose my mind, now I just go through and I go, okay, no, I'm gonna sit more in my chair. I'm gonna do the exact opposite of what my instinct is. If this feeling makes me want to run outside and run away, I'm not. I'm gonna sit here and stay right here where I am. And if I'm with someone, I'm gonna tell them that I'm feeling this, because if I keep it inside, I'm gonna feel ashamed of it. I'm not just gonna feel panicked and anxious. I'm gonna feel ashamed because I'm gonna feel like I'm being a burden to other people around me, which is going to exacerbate my feeling worse, because it's often not just a single emotion going into struggles with mental illness. It's not just fear and panic. It's fear and panic and shame, oftentimes, is the cocktail that often is not discussed about how that's underlying the feeling, because you feel weak. You feel like you're being burdensome. You feel like you're being abnormal. Like, oh, if I was just normal, I wouldn't be ruining this experience with my friends, my family, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whoever. But the reality is, like 95%, you could probably go up to a stranger and say, can you tell me it's going to be okay? I'm really sorry to interrupt you. I'm having a panic attack right now. If you were at like a park or somewhere and you were having a little bit of a freak out, you could probably tell a stranger, and most people would go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hey, it's okay. Hey, take a breath. All right. Hey, it's going to be okay. Just let's calm down. All right. Like most people sympathize with people who are struggling. So the fact that we will often, if you're someone like me who's dealt with panic and anxiety in particular, the feeling I feel like you need to avoid people, that alone is such a big problem. But again, because I worked on it for so long, I will now be much more open about it. If I'm around friends or family or whoever I'm around, and I'll kind of take a second and breathe. If they ask me if I'm okay, I don't say I'm fine, and try to play it off. And I also don't make a huge deal out of it. I don't try to be like, oh my God, I'm having a meltdown. I'll just say, I'm okay. I am having, like, my adrenaline's going a little bit right now. I'm having a little bit of a anxiety spike right now, but you know what? That's okay, because then it's out in the air, and then it's amazing how much faster your system can move on from that experience if you face it, express it, that it is there, that is how you're feeling, and you're not ashamed of it. And then your system just starts to quiet down because it's seeing less of a reaction out of you consistently. So because of that, it reduces down little by little. Every time that panic feeling comes back and you don't react in the way it expects, your nervous system goes, oh, it must not be that dangerous if they're not even responding to it. They're not reacting in any way. They're still going about their day. That danger must not actually be very dangerous at all. And little by little, your nervous system kind of steers itself back into being more balanced or whatever. So anyway, this game was I feel like it was just trying to be shocking for the sake of being shocking. And I don't think it's especially effective, especially to use such bleak material, but not in a way that's emotionally very satisfying. It just feels like it's meant to be shocking. So, and it's funny because I don't find it that shocking. I don't find it that upsetting, really. I don't really find it even that disturbing because it's like when you watch a film and like the filmmaker is like, this is my most controversial film ever. That's like, okay, but you're trying to be. It's not controversial because you made something that was really a difficult subject matter and poured yourself into it and some people can't handle it. This was made to try to get a reaction, and that alone often has the exact opposite effect. But what I will say is I feel like this gave us a good chance to talk about mental health for a while, and I will never miss an opportunity to talk about that because I always think about it when I want to shut myself up sometimes when I'm recording these videos and these discussions. And I think I should just be quiet and go back to entertaining. But I remind myself, you know what? Even if there's just one of you who needed to hear some of the stuff that I said today as someone who's been through a lot and can relate to a lot of what, a lot of people, a lot of other people who struggle with mental health can go through. If even one of you needed to hear some of this today and that gives you a little bit of hope or a little bit of motivation, to be able to keep going, pushing through and find some more resources and figure out ways that might help you get through what you're going through, then it's worth it. Then I'll be glad that I will have made this time and said all this stuff and babbled on. And for the rest of you, if this doesn't apply to you, that's okay. You can skip it. Feel free to skim through my mental health rambles if they don't apply to your life. If your life's going awesome and you've done the work and you feel good and all that, that's fucking awesome. And I love that. And I hope that that stays put for you and your mental state of being and all that. So anyway, this game was a game, but hey, it gave us a chance to have a good little conversation together, all right? And I hope in the comments, I just want to say that I hope you love yourself a little bit today. Try to remind yourself and those around you, but yourself first. You got to take care of yourself first, that you are going to be okay. You're going to make it through things, all right? It may not be easy. It may be really fucking difficult. But if we all band together as community, as people, as just humans to humans, and remember that we don't have any space to feel sorry for ourselves, but we can be nicer and kinder to ourselves while we try to make progress. And even if we make a little bit of progress, again, it's that thing of like, if it doesn't seem so gargantuan of a task, if you try to say, I'm going to make my day, I'm going to do something that makes my day 1% better, 1% give myself a little bit more progress or relief. And if you do that, and again, you're every week you're going, okay, I'm a couple of these days, I'm really going to try to get myself do one thing tiny bit better in my life. You keep doing that for a year and you will fucking make progress. You won't be perfect. None of us ever will be, but you will start to see that momentum continue. And that's a great feeling. And once it gets going, you will want to continue with it because you will see how much potential you have to make your own life better and your own state of existence happier or more content and a safer space in your own brain, which can feel so antagonistic when you're going through a lot of things, So anyway, just know I'm proud of you if you're trying at all. And even if you're not trying right now, even if you're just, completely feel like you're at a zero and having trouble even getting up from there, I'm still proud of you for being here because that alone can be a lot of work. Anyway, I love you guys a bunch. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.